John, I suppose 3 quarters of that game, you probably didn't look yourselves. That final quarter, stunning. What did you make of it?
I'd actually disagree with you, to be honest with you, because I think, the first 3 quarters, we were working very, very hard, which is one of our hallmarks of our team. We didn't execute our chances. We had 18 scoring chances in the first half to Clare 16. We went in 5 points down. So that doesn't happen very often. We just didn't execute our chances well enough. We didn't maybe close the gap between ourselves and goal and then take the shot. Just a few bits and pieces. But for a number of our players, they haven't a huge amount of game time in this spring. They've had a number of injuries, and they're just coming back into it. So it was always going to be a case today where it was, to be expected that some of our decision making and some of our execution was going to need, sharpening. So, we did as much as we could in the last month, but there's only so much you can do if you've got injuries on board.
I suppose off the bat as well, losing Mike Casey, that throws you straight away. I know Sean Finn hasn't done a whole lot of hurling since coming back from the ACL.
Yeah, Mike, it was unfortunate, because he was actually after getting off to a really great start, and he's had a brilliant month. He was on super form, but we'll get him back and get him going again in a few weeks' time. But Sean, Sean was always going to have to see action at some point, and it was always in our intent to get him on the pitch today. And getting a guy like Sean Finn on the field, if you can't be trusting of Sean Finn, who are you going to trust? So I thought he did brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. Difficult circumstances, he's up against some excellent forwards who are getting super ball in as well, and having to try to defend that. That's not always easy, but I thought he did absolutely fantastically well for us. So delighted with that.
Is it a hamstring for Mike?
Yeah, hamstring, but don't know the severity of it, so we'll have to wait and see.
At 9 points down, John, do you think at all this just isn't our day?
Listen, at that point, you'd have to say that momentum wasn't with us, but what I was also taking note of the fact was Clare weren't pulling away from us, and we were still scoring chances. We just weren't creating that bit of momentum by getting a couple of scores in a row, and then we strung off 3 points in a row, and the whole thing just shifted. Then we got the goal, and at that point then you could say, listen, there's a chance here. We just need to move and seize the moment, and I think the players felt that as well, and they grabbed it, and just really delighted with the impact of our boys off the bench. It was absolutely pivotal in that last quarter, and our last quarter this season in the league has been our poorest quarter, and for it to be our strongest quarter today is just fantastic for us to take out of today's game.
It felt like after the first goal went in, did the composure even up from your side? The body language on the Clare side maybe shifted as well. It felt like you were a lot more composed, balls were sticking where they hadn't been.
Yeah, I suppose, sometimes you just have to wait for it, and sometimes you run out of time, and today we just had to wait for it, and when it came, we got into a nice flow there for that last 15 minutes, and I think we felt quite comfortable in the end, really, being honest, defending that last 10 minutes, and I thought we defended really, really well when the ball came into our half of the pitch in that last 12-15 minutes.
Donegal Dalek obviously waiting for his chance all the time. The last 2 league campaigns he's been really good, got his goal today. I think the energy he brought on with Adam English, Conor Boylan, the subs made a big impact today.
Huge, yeah. Donegal's had a great league. It's a very difficult team to break into for any player, and he's got rakes of energy and ability, and he'll take a huge amount out of today's game, even though it was only a quarter for him, but for his first championship quarter, it's a huge piece for him. Just
talking about the game, the start of the Munster Championship, all eyes on hurling. The weather has been atrocious for nearly a year. We've had nothing but rain, the sunshine, the colour. Championship is here.
Yeah, it was a great occasion today. Both sets of supporters brought fantastic passion to the game, and we're delighted to be back at it. But what I would say is it's only game 1 of 4, and it's only 2 points on the board at the end of the day. That won't be enough by a long shot to get out of the group. We know what's coming to us next Sunday. Tipper coming to us last year, it was a draw game. We were probably fortunate to get the draw. So, we have a huge amount to do now to, we have to be a better team next week. That's the bottom line. We have to be better on our puck out. We have to get a higher intensity. We have to be more accurate in our shooting. We have to give away not awful lot less frees. Our free count that we gave away today was very high, and that wasn't Colin Lyons' fault. That was our fault. That's on us. So we have to tidy up our tackling, our discipline in tackle, and we have to, give away less chances in our half of the field, to players like, the free takers that are out there. They're just incredible, and they're going to punish you. So we've got to tidy that up.
John, you say it's only 2 points, but it's a huge 2 points given everything, the history of this fixture, and it's the first fixture.
Yeah, listen, when you come to Ennis and you get a win, you understand that that's a real achievement in itself. But ultimately, all right, we can think about that another time, but ultimately it's only 2 points in the course of this competition, and we know we're going to need 5+ points to get out of the group. So we are chasing points like everybody else. We're delighted they've gotten off to a good start, but it's no more than we had this time last year.
Was that the start you were really hoping to get as well, in that it was probably on paper the most difficult fixture? in the Champions away to Clare and give you the
paper
momentum.
now, I wouldn't be taking much
Yeah.
from the paper, and I don't mean years now, but any sheet of paper for that matter. Listen, every game is tough, lads, and there's no game that you could pinpoint as being more difficult than the other. It's as difficult as the circumstances are. That was difficult for our last quarter, but at the same time we were hurling well throughout. We just weren't finishing the job when we had the ball in hand, so we just needed to tidy that up. And to be fair to lads, they stuck with the process, they stuck with the game plan, and I thought we grew in that last quarter, which is a fantastic piece for us to take out of here today and into the Gaelic grounds next Sunday.
Kiely, apprehensive beforehand, John. I mean, more so than you would have been, given you say very few players have played.
No, listen, Clare are a super side. Like, we know that. There's nobody knows it better than us. They are a super side, and we haven't a track record of coming down here and getting results on a regular basis. But our focus was solely on ourselves, and when you think about that, we had a lot of players who were out injured during the springtime and didn't have a lot of game time, and it was a tough game for some of them to come into to try and hit a high marker of performance, and you can see that out there. And some of the guys will be disappointed with their performance, but who knows, maybe that'll light their fire to go back and train hard this week and come back next week better players. Okay? Sorry.
Just one, do you think the sense of history kind of fed into the performance today at any stage? Or
No, not at all. No, not at all. Absolutely not. Believe me, your perception of what this season is about and ours are two totally different things. I can assure you, when you're coming to us, you're not thinking about anything else, right? And I can tell you, for our first home game to Gaelic grounds this year, we're not thinking of nothing else for the rest of this week either. Okay?
Just finally, John, Darragh O'Donovan, how's he doing? Is there a chance he could feature against Tip, or out? You said 2 games he'll be out.
No, he won't be back next week. No.